Hey, welcome back to the Get Rooted in Health podcast. This is episode number 8. Let's dig in. Hey friend, welcome to the Get Rooted in Health podcast. I'm Gabby Flater, a faith-led wife, mom of 3, certified nutrition consultant, personal trainer, and passionate about changing lives. I know how frustrating it can be to navigate the health and wellness world. You want to be motivated to prioritize your well-being and wish you were more educated when it comes to cultivating a healthy home. Maybe you're a mom who's completely burnt out and needs a fresh perspective on life, or you're searching for a place to feel seen, heard, and encouraged in a godly manner. No matter if you're doing the dishes, getting your sweat on, or drinking reheated coffee while watching the kids play, there is always an opportunity for growth. If you are ready to finally take action about these desires and are ready to learn, grow, and transform your mind, then you are in the right place. It's time to establish deeper roots so you can enjoy a more fruitful and fulfilling harvest. Let's dig in. Hey, welcome back. Happy Monday to you all, or whatever day that you're listening to this. Happy new week to you. So glad that we are chatting again together. Whatever you're doing, I hope that you are able to just focus in and really just take this time to soak in some input and knowledge and just making this time for you. I know so often I find time to listen to podcasts just random times throughout my day, like whether it's I'm doing the dishes or I know I'm going to be doing a bunch of chores around the house in between, taking care of the kids, and I just pop an earpod in and just listen to whatever I can. Do I remember everything? Do I hear everything as I am listening? No, but man, over the years, especially like mowing the lawn, man, I have gone through audiobooks. I have listened to tons of podcasts. And just really have found value in them, which is really why I wanted to be in this space too. I wanted to have my own space here because I found so much value from the time that people put into this free platform to give to people. And I was like, yes, this is exactly what I need to do. To be able to have conversations with you guys and bring free content, because while I am all about, making money, just like, everybody wants extra money and money is great and money is how the world goes round, but there is also a time and space for so much free content, creating relationships in this kind of a way. And that just is something that I felt really called to do. Aside from earning income. So I hope that you just sense that here and that you are just always welcome at this table. So I want to kick today's podcast off real quick with a shout out, with a review. This one is from Ghetto Mama. She says, excited for this podcast. Gabby is such a sweet, motivating woman with great insight into many areas. So excited to be able to listen to her podcast. With the I heart emoji at the end. I gotta have that in there, right? What would our life be like without emojis, guys? Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you so much, Ghetto Mama, for that encouraging and just great review. I appreciate it. If you have not left a review yet, pause this episode. It takes 2 seconds. Just scroll down on my podcast page and hit the 5-star or whatever rating you feel this show deserves. Hit that rating and then quick type in a review. It would mean so much, and it gets this podcast in front of more and more people, and that is my goal. All right, let's jump into today's episode. Oh, one more thing. Also, if you do have topic ideas or areas of concern that you want me to shine some light on, feel free to email me at gabby.flater@getrootedinhealth.com. Would love to answer questions, dive into topics that are where you're at in life so that I can best serve you and my community and where you're at. So please feel free to email me there or send me a message if you got me on Instagram or Facebook. Would love to connect there. So, all right, today we are going to talk about why pasture-raised eggs are really worth it. So we are going to kind of dive into the difference between conventional eggs, cage-free, free-range, organic, and pasture-raised. That's a lot, guys. That's a lot to navigate. I don't know if you're like me, but I tend to get decision fatigue or like choice overwhelm, choice fatigue, especially when it comes to grocery stores these days. There's just insane amounts of options. And I'm just like, I just want like 3 things to choose from. And if one of them could be like top-notch ingredients, that would be great. But I just can't handle, like, it gives me anxiety when there's like, you walk into Woodman's, all you Woodman's people, if you know what I'm talking about, deep breath when you walk down the aisles. But honestly, guys, this is how I shop Woodman's. I come in, I make a beeline straight for the produce section for all the things, and I find everything that I can that's the best price for organic first. That's what I hit up. And then I, if I need to get something else that I'm not going to spend, $8 on a thing of strawberries for, but my kids want strawberries, great, we're going to go get the $2 strawberries, that aren't organic. So we head through the produce aisle, we do all of that stuff, then we make our way all the way down. We skip all the aisles, basically, and we head down to our 2 favorite aisles that are all the organic or cleaner ingredient, natural food aisle. And then I make my way over to like the eggs and the dairy, and that's kind of how I shop Woodman's. I skip all the aisles of cereal, and seriously, I don't even go into those aisles unless there's one thing that I know I need for something special or random. I will get it, but I skip so much of that store because there's just no value in that aisle. So anyway, I totally went on a tangent there, but my point being is, okay, when you're at Woodman's and you're staring at all the eggs and you're like, oh my gosh, there's like 20 options here. What in the world? There's eggs ranging from 79 cents a dozen to, $6.99 a dozen. What in the world? And you're wondering, what in the world do I choose? How do I know what I'm buying and what is going to be best? And of course, we're like, well, I just want to be able to afford some eggs here, and that's a good option, right? So I'm just gonna go with the cheapest ones because eggs are eggs, right? And not necessarily. And this is one area that I just felt like, man, I want more people to understand more of the value behind this, because I learned about this over the years, and I literally cannot buy non-pasteurized eggs, or cage-free. It depends on what store I'm at and what I have access to when I can't get the pasture-raised. But I cannot get the 79-cent eggs when they're on sale. I literally just can't, because I know where they come from, and I can't even physically pick them up. I know that sounds hilarious, but I know that we've talked about food labels a little bit on here. We've talked a little bit about shopping, how you shop the perimeters of the store, and just how important it is to understand the marketing techniques, to not be fooled by the so-called healthy labeling or packaging. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes to market it and get your eyes and hands on it, and eventually your dollar bills spent on it. And this is meant to empower you with information so that you can make a well-informed decision for you and your family and what's best. I am by no means ever telling someone that you should be buying this. Of course, I will recommend it, and I will give you all of the best ways that I have found to make it work in my life, so that hopefully you can find the value as well. And if you really just don't have that kind of standards or values when it comes to certain things, that's totally fine. I'm not offended in any way, and I'm just sharing this because I think so many people don't really understand the differences here, and probably want to make better informed decisions, and it's so hard to sift through and navigate on your own. And so that's what my role here is I do all that dirty work. I do all that, research and listening to all the podcasts and reading all the books and the blogs and following the people, because it's my passion, it's my interest, it's what I love, and therefore I will share that knowledge with you, just like someone who is knowledgeable about planning trips. I just met a new mama who does that, and so I'm just so excited I don't have time to figure out how to plan trips with kids and do it on a budget and all these things, and that's something we want to do with our kids. And so I'm excited to have someone who's in that space that I can use as a resource, and I don't have to do all of it by myself and figure it all out. So that's why we all need each other. Okay, all right, so circling back, so like I said, after knowing what I know, I can't unsee it. I can't buy those eggs after knowing what I know about the industry. And so I'm going to kind of go through a little bit about, I have a bunch of notes here about each type. So we're going to start off just with basic conventional eggs. So conventional just means how everything is mass produced, basically. Conventional is just the opposite of organic. We'll just call it that, okay? So conventional eggs, these are your standard supermarket eggs. And these hens are usually lay eggs that are fed grain. They're supplemented with vitamins and minerals. And so this grain could be anything, okay? Not anything healthy. Conventional chickens are most often raised in cages. And if the chickens are egg-laying hens, then these cages usually contain 6 chickens, with each one getting a mere 67 square inches of space, or sometimes even less. That'll mean something to you. Just remember the number 67 and the fact that they're in a cage with 6 other hens, because I'll be sharing some other numbers coming up. So 67 square inches of space, or sometimes even less. Conventional chickens typically do not get outside at all. There is absolutely zero roaming or free range time outdoors or indoors. They literally just stay in the cage. Chicken antibiotics are commonly given to these conventional birds due to all of the sickness that occurs in them due to living in close living quarters. Okay, so just picture it. And also just kind of, it's disgusting, but this might just be what you need, okay? They are literally sitting in their own poo, okay? Yeah. We're just going to leave it at that. Their breasts are so heavy that they can't even move, okay? So just picture a warehouse filled with a bunch of chickens shoved in cages with a bunch of nastiness. And they don't ever walk around or move around. Yeah, that's what you've been eating and that's what you've been buying. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. We're going to talk about cage-free. We'll be circling back to, all these different kinds again, but I want to kind of go through each one. Cage-free. These chickens aren't caged, but are often packed together indoors. So no cages, okay? That's better. But they have no diet regulations, so still kind of whatever. And their packages, though, are regulated by the USDA. So what that means is there are certain standards, of course, it's approved by the, USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. So pasture-raised eggs are not regulated. And so these are going to be approved through the USDA because they follow their so-called protocols and are somehow approved. Why? I don't know. So that would be the same with the conventional eggs in terms of, what's on, how they're handled and what's on the packaging and everything. Okay, so cage-free, again, it's right in the name. They aren't caged, packed indoors, no diet regulations. So pretty much very similar. They don't see the outside. Free range, same as cage free, but they have the option to go outside. Okay, so they have the option. That's nice, but they aren't It's not like, okay, ladies, let's go outside from noon to 4, and they get all their chickens to go outside. Like, they don't really spend the time doing that. They just have the option. Okay, so those are kind of moving in a better-ish direction. Organic, what does that mean? So chickens aren't caged. They have access to the outdoors, so very similar, but it varies depending on the farm. So you kind of have to do a little bit of your own research. With organic, they must be fed an organic diet. That's about it. This doesn't just mean they are pasture raised because it's labeled organic. So just if you see organic, it doesn't mean that they are roaming the fields. That doesn't mean anything. So really, ideally, the word you're looking for here is pasture raised. And this means they are free roaming. They have full outdoor access whenever they want. So, and I'll keep going. They forage their food, so they basically just get their food from wherever they wander and roam. And they also are on a specific diet that is designed by an animal nutrition expert. So they need a supplemental diet. They're not going to get everything, especially like in the wintertime. If they're in the colder states and areas, they're going to need a little bit more extra help with supplementing their diet. They are not regulated by the USDA, and for their supplemental feed, one of the brands is Vital Farms, if you've ever heard of them. I was reading up on their site and also on a couple others, and this is very similar, that their hens are fed the supplemental feed of corn and unprocessed soybean meal for added protein. That's what they said on their site. So get this. Remember that number 67, okay? Pasture-raised hens get a minimum of 100 square feet each. Again, 108. Free range get a minimum of 2 square foot each, because remember, there's like 6 of them in a cage. And cage free get about 1.2 square feet, and they rarely see the sunlight. Okay. I don't know if you have ever looked at or seen a side-by-side of the egg yolks from conventional, cage-free, whatever, free range versus pasture-raised. I would encourage you to go look that up. There is a huge difference. I remember, sometimes I don't always get the pasture-raised because I'm not at the right store, and I have 3 kids, and you know what? Sometimes it didn't line up, and I didn't get it at that time, so I was left to get, say, the cage-free, organic cage-free from Aldi or something. Okay, whatever. We're going to be fine every now and again. And I remember cracking them open, and I'm like, oh, what kind of eggs are these? I was like, these look really different. The difference is it all is dependent on their diet and the sunlight, the vitamin D that they're getting from the sun, and the food that they're eating. And conventional eggs and most cage-free, free range are more pale, not as a rich color. They're more yellowy. Whereas if you crack open a pasture-raised egg, it is going to be golden, rich color, very like a rich orange. And man, they're just night and day difference, and they look beautiful when cooked up. I'm salivating because I really want some now. Some scrambled eggs. So big difference, and that is due to what they are eating. Also, coming back to the pasture-raised, is the golden yolk from them. Those kinds are more nutrient dense, which makes sense. It's up to 10 times higher rates of healthy omega-3s. I'm going to go through a list. 3 to 6 times more vitamin D. 1/3 less cholesterol, which, okay. 1/4 less saturated fat. 2/3 more vitamin A. 7 times more beta carotene, as evidenced by the deep orange color of the yolks. And the deep orange yolks are the richest sources of lutein, zeaxanthin, carotene vitamins essential to combating eye-damaging macular degeneration in people over age 55. 80% more folic acid and vitamin B12, and 30% more vitamin E. There you have it. Okay? There is a whole list of benefits. So you get the biggest bang for your buck when you get eggs that are actually doing something for you rather than just like getting eggs to have the eggs and eat them. They are a great source of protein, okay, but if you really want to not have eggs that were from hens not well treated, just think about what's going in your body. That's all I have to say. So, really read up on the brands to ensure the quality that you're getting. Just because a hen is given 108 square feet doesn't mean her eggs are pasture raised. Just like having a kitchen doesn't mean you're a chef. So, just being mindful of that. Like I said, with that one that was like free range and cage free, or I think it was free range, they have the option to go outside. That's like you have the kitchen and you have the option to cook, but it's a matter of if you cook and if you're going to use the kitchen to cook. So, there's that whole level there. So, really, again, because pasture raised eggs are not USDA regulated, that just means like it's not going to follow through a whole system. And you want to trust the people that are putting these on the market. I sure hope that there's something that they have to pass in order to slap that label on there. Yes, we'll talk about the pricing and ways to get around that, how to figure out how to make that work, to find value in that. But I'm going to tell you a few brands that I recommend for sure. And one of them is Vital Farms. You can find those literally anywhere. Pick and Save, Woodman's, Whole Foods. I'm sure wherever else you may shop. Vital Farms is going to have those. Now, you're going to see pasture-raised that are organic and pasture-raised that are not organic. I don't need to spend the extra $1 or $2 to get organic pasture-raised. Honestly, I'm happy if they're just pasture-raised. The organic just means that they are certified. So here's how I look at it. Sometimes when I see a company that has side-by-side items that is one is the organic label and one is not, you have to pay a certain amount of money to have the organic label stamped on your item. And some people really want that, and it is a marketing thing. And if people are looking for that, they want to see that on your products because then they're more likely to buy it. So here I am standing looking at Vital Farms eggs thinking, why would their standards be any less for pasture raised without the organic label on the other ones? So I just trust that it's basically the same thing. It's just not marked up in price because they had to pay to put the label on it, if that makes sense. So I just treat them both the same. In a sense, I'm happy that they are pasture raised, and that is enough for me. I was able to score an amazing deal. I was so excited. I was like, I'll bet I should leave one of these just for somebody else to be as excited as I was, because I almost cleared the shelf. We were at Pick and Save one day after church, and they needed to get rid of these eggs. And they were organic, pasture-raised, Vital Farm eggs, and they're normally like $5.99, $6.99. I don't buy them there. And all of a sudden, I look, and they had like 5 of them marked down to $3.49 a dozen, and I was like dancing. My husband was like, "You are a crazy lady." And I'm like loading the cart. I'm like shoveling them in my arms. I'm like, I gotta have them all. I can't believe this. This is amazing. This made my day. And they just expired in like a week or so, or in a few days. I don't remember. And I was like, I don't even care. Like, they're gonna be fine. We're gonna eat them. And that was great. And I saved some money on some really awesome ones. And so that was just a huge win. And I was so excited. Another brand is Nick's Organic Eggs, and I find these at Woodman's. You can also go to a lot of these companies' websites, and you can search which stores, like Store Finder, and you can find what eggs, what brands and what stores they're at. So Nick's Organic Eggs, I love. Actually, I really like that one, and I love supporting the family farm there. There's another one, Blue Sky Family Farms, and this isn't a brand, but it's a store. Aldi actually has now started to carry their own pasture-raised eggs. I remember the first time I saw cage-free at their store, or free range, or whatever it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at this. There's like actually more eggs that are more expensive than, $1 here. And it just means something. There's just quality that's coming in, and I love that. And I'm going to touch on a little bit about the Aldi ones, and I would definitely recommend just going with them. I have bought them. I think it's the Golden Hen brand. And I looked up online. I was trying to search, okay, so where are these eggs being sourced from? And they are from a farm called Rose Acre Farms in Indiana, which is, okay, hear me out, America's second largest egg producer. So reading that was like a red flag to me, because whenever you see largest leading egg producer, second largest, you just think mass production, however much they can make, but in the cheapest way. And so I was like, oh, I wonder if this is just them saying, it's kind of like when a product says, made with essential oils, and they can slap that label on there because it's got like 2 drops in there. Okay. I kind of question this one, but I wouldn't steer you away from buying it, because Aldi's price is going to be bonkers better, like just way better. I think it's $3.99, and that is an amazing price. And you might have to work on that mindset around that, but it is an amazing price, let me tell you, for the value that you're getting in those eggs. So hit or miss, I may not buy them every time from Aldi, but if I'm in a pinch and I know I can get them there, or that's the only store I can get to at that time, and I need eggs, I'm going to buy them. But I'm not sure that I would completely trust the farm to handle pasture raised. I was like, if you just look up Rose Acre Farms and you look on their site, I didn't see, they had a section for specialty eggs, because they work with retailers to design the eggs for whatever they want, for that company, for that brand. And I didn't see pasture raised listed. I just saw like cage free and free range, I think. And I was like, well, where's the pasture raised? Like, if they're mass producing these for Aldi, why is this not on their website? Like, being as an option that they would have a section on their land. Maybe they do. Maybe I just need to go visit it. I have no idea. Again, I just did my own research, and I'm kind of taking it half and half. So again, I wouldn't buy them every time because I trust some other brands a little bit more with that label, pasture raised. So just being careful. You have to know. So just do your own research. Pasture raised will always be the better option, and where you get it from is the next best place to focus on. And of course, always trying to make it work in your budget. So you kind of follow the tier, Pasture raised is always the best. Then if you can look into where you're getting it from, that'd be the next best thing to focus on, where your source is from. And then, of course, this could probably be at the top too, but, making it work in your budget, finding a way to make it more acceptable to spend a few extra dollars on these eggs. And maybe you're not eating them every day. Like, maybe you don't fly through them, and you have to be a little more conservative with them. However you can get it in to your diet, that's kind of how you have to approach it. So again, I don't want you to get fooled by fancy labels that are like free this, certified that, all natural, hormone free. Like, it really just blow past it, okay? It's all marketing techniques. You just want the ones that say pasture raised. If you want to get organic, go organic. And if it's in your budget, grab them. If non-organic label, great. Pasture raised eggs it is. I want to read something to you on Vital Farms from their site. I had put this into my notes. Let's see. So this is about their supplemental feed. So this kind of, talks about the organic versus non-organic, okay? The girls who lay our USDA certified organic pasture-raised eggs receive a supplemental feed that's USDA certified organic. and are raised on farms which are also organic certified. So these farms have to go through certifications, like big time. It's not easy to have that certification, and it's a huge deal, and it costs money. Hence why eggs on the market that are with those labels have to be marked up so they can, afford to keep up that certification. Okay? So the grain that they feed them is USDA certified organic and are raised on farms which are also organic certified. The hens who lay are non-GMO project verified pasture raised eggs are given a feed and raised on a farm that's non-GMO project verified. Non-GMO, that is great. Genetically modified organism. I think that's what the O stands for. That is also a great thing. Okay, so that just means that there's no GMOs in their feed or on the farms that they're living on. The birds that lay our original pasture-raised eggs are fed a supplemental feed that's carefully formulated to keep them happy and healthy. So, regardless of the type of egg, our farmers refrain from using pesticides or herbicides on their pastures, and all of our eggs are certified humane and hormone-free. So this is just me diving deeper into Vital Farms and what they're saying. They're feeding their hens, the organic ones, the non-GMO ones, or the non-organic ones. You just have to do your own little research, and that's what you're doing here listening to this podcast. So I hope that this helps open your eyes more to take to things like this, how to shop smarter, make informed decisions, do a little digging, finding resources just like this, type it in. Maybe there's a podcast on it, maybe there's a blog on it, and kind of, anyone can throw anything out there on the internet. I understand that. So maybe weigh a few of them against each other and get a few opinions and then make your best informed decision, okay? So maybe this will convince you enough to stop buying conventional eggs. Maybe it'll just start getting, just start getting cage free. Just start somewhere or the free range eggs, okay? And maybe this will send you on a hunt. This was the other thing I wanted to talk about, was maybe this will send you on a hunt to find a local neighbor, which is like the first choice you should ever make. Let me just say, a local neighbor who you can buy from, which is going to be always my first go-to. So my parents actually have laying chickens. And, when you picture pasture raised. So my parents, they bought a 19-acre property recently, and they have beef cows and chickens and a dog and, kids and all that. So on their land, literally, they just have like a fenced-in area with a chicken coop for the hens to go in at night, lay their eggs, do their thing, stay warm in the winter, and they give them all their scraps of, whatever, they want from vegetables or whatever, and then they let them out. They roam their entire property, and they're eating just stuff off their land. And my parents don't use any, sprays or any chemicals on their property at all. So when you think of pasture raised, just think of your mom and pa having some chickens. They have their little house, but yet they just run around during the day, finding bugs and getting some vitamin D and some exercise. And like that literally is the best way to go. So I actually have a neighbor that I love getting my eggs from. And in the future, I would love to have my own. So maybe that's in your future too. I don't know. It's not super hard. The hardest thing would just be creating the environment for them and keeping them away from predators. Growing up, I saw some ugly things with raccoons. So yes, you can have some moments that are a little traumatizing. But either way, you can save yourself money over time if you were to invest in your own egg-laying hens and, being in control of where they roam and what they are fed. So just check out, there are ways online that you can, search local eggs in your area. Go on Nextdoor, that Nextdoor app, and search that, or maybe in a Facebook group if you're in like a mom's group or a parents group or whatever. Just say, hey, I live in this area. I'm looking for local eggs that I can purchase. And supporting farms locally these days, guys, is just, you just gotta. So give somebody the $4, $5, $6 or work out a deal. Maybe you have another skill or craft or something you can share with them. I've definitely seen that too. So anyway, I hope that this helped just explain it all and open your eyes to all the different kinds out there, and just really finding the best deals. And that's what I love, is where can I find the best deal on the most high quality food item that I am buying for my family. And that is how I process things. So if you liked this podcast and found value here today, it would mean a lot if you would hit subscribe and scroll down on my show. You can leave a rating and review, which would mean so much to me and help more people learn about how to shop smarter. Again, email me with any topics, gabby.flater@getrootedinhealth.com. Take care, my friends. Be well, and we will chat soon.